Hello friends, welcome to Fairs Cloud Learn to Lead. Good morning to all the students. Today we will discuss very important current affairs of 15th of June 2022. You can see two best images of the day, but today we will discuss very important and the most important current affairs. So watch this video till last. But first of all, you have to download our application Careers Cloud from the Google Play Store. After that, log in with your email ID. Then click on this Crack Current Affairs section to subscribe our current affairs for 1 year as well as for 2 years. Both the subscription prices are very much low. But the most important thing, what we are covering under this 1 year and the 2 year subscription, we are providing you daily section. In the daily section, you will receive three things. One is the detailed current affair. Second is the question and answer format of current affairs, but both will be provided in the form of PDF or in the form of ebook. And third is the quiz section, and this can be attempted only on our application on daily basis. Next is the weekly section. Again, we are providing three things. One is the detailed current affairs, second is the question and answer format, but both things will be provided in the PDF format, and third is the quiz section, which you can attempt on our application on weekly basis. Next is the monthly section, and in the monthly section we are providing you four type of PDFs. One is the detailed current affair PDF, which is known as study PDF. Next, all the detailed current affairs will be converted in the form of question and answer. That's why it is known as question and answer PDF, so that you can revise all the current affairs in the question and answer format. Next is the best 100 current affairs will be provided. That is also provided in the form of question and answer. And last is the pocket PDF. It means one liner, two liner, or the three liners current affair will be provided to you, so that you can revise these current affairs very quickly before your exam. Next is topic wise current affair. This is very important section because we are providing 20 most important topic wise PDF. If you want to revise one or two particular topics, then you can use this topic wise PDF. If you are a banking student, then we are providing three things. One is detail, second is question and answer format of current affairs, but only related to banking and economy, and third is the quiz section. It is also only related to banking and economy, and you can attempt this quiz section only on our application on monthly basis. Next is exam PDF. If you want to cover all the current affairs before your exam of particular year, then you can use this exam PDF. Next is special current affairs section. In the special current affair, we are providing you budget and economic survey. Two things we are providing. One is detail, budget and economic survey. Second is question and answer format of budget and economic survey. It means you can recall that examiner can make these type of questions from budget and economic survey. If you are preparing for your respective state exam, then we are also providing state current affairs, and we are covering every state and union territory. So all these things comes under only one subscription. First of all, you have to just download our application Careers Cloud, then click on this Crack Current Affairs section, and you can subscribe for 1 year as well as for 2 years. And if you want 10% extra discount, then you can use this code ASH10. If you have any query, then you can email us on this email ID, or you can call us on this number. So let's start 15th of June 2022 current affairs. But first of all, you have to like this video, you have to share this video, and you have to subscribe this channel if you are new on this platform, and join our Telegram channel so that you can receive the notification on time. So no question is in the most important section. So we are starting with the very important questions, and here is the first question. Which country became the India's biggest oil supplier? So this is static question, and remember, answer of this question is Iraq. A is the answer. So Iraq was the top supplier to India, and Saudi Arabia stands the third biggest supplier to India. So third rank goes to Saudi Arabia, and the first rank goes to Iraq. But the second rank goes to Russia. So Russia has overtaken Saudi Arabia to become the India's second biggest oil supplier next to Iraq, as Russia's crude oil is currently available at discount following the war in Ukraine. So India refiners have bought Russian crude oil at discount as high as $30 per barrel. And in May 2022, the Indian refiners bought about 25 million barrels of the Russian oil, or more than 16% of all their oil imports. So India is world's third biggest oil importing country and consuming nation after the United States of America and China. And the share of African oil in India crude oil imports rose to 11.5% from 5.9% in the April last month. So remember, Russia has overtaken Saudi Arabia to become India's second biggest oil supplier next to Iraq, as Russian crude oil is currently available at discount following the war in Ukraine. So first Iraq, second Russia, and third is Saudi Arabia. And remember about Russia, Russia's president is Vladimir Putin, capital is Moscow, and currency is the Russian ruble. Moving to next question. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates Biotech Startup Expo 2022 at which place? So this is very static question. Again, you have to remember this is Biotechnological Startup Expo of 2022 and it is inaugurated in New Delhi. So answer of this question is C. So the Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated this Biotechnological Startup Expo of 2022 at Pragati Maidan in New Delhi, and it is known as Biotech Startup Expo of 2022. And it is organized by Department of Biotechnology and Biotechnology Industry Research Assistance Council, which is known as BIRAC. So it is the celebration which recognizes the efforts of BIRAC towards the biotechnological sector of India. And this expo is a part of the celebration of the completion of 10 years of the establishment of BIRAC. So the theme of this Biotechnological Startup Expo is Biotechnological Startup Innovation Towards Atmanirbhar Bharat. Again, this theme is very important. And the expo specially hosted around 300 stalls showcasing biotechnology applications in various disciplines like pharmaceutical, biopharmaceutical, agriculture, industry, biotechnology, and waste to value and renewable energy sources. And the future trajectory of the bioeconomy in the biotechnological sector is to achieve USD 150 billion by the year of 2025, and India as a $100 billion biomanufacturing hub. This is the target of India in the biotechnology sector. But you have to remember this Biotechnology Startup Expo of 2022 will showcase 75 successful startups supported by BIRAC, 75 specialized biotechnological incubation center which are also supported by BIRAC, 21 IITs or universities, 50 successful startups which are supported and designed by BIRAC, and help desks and various national and international programs of BIRAC, because this is a part of the celebration of the completion of 10 years of the establishment of BIRAC. This is again very important. So Prime Minister also stated that the bioeconomy of India has increased 8 times and it has grown from USD $10 billion to $80 billion. And India is set to become of the top 10 biotechnological countries in the world. This is stated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. But you have to remember this organization, this BIRAC is very important organization. BIRAC chairman is Dr. Rajesh S. Gokhale and managing director is Alka Sharma. And this BIRAC is a public sector undertaking of the Department of Biotechnology under the Ministry of Science and Technology. And BIRAC, established by the Department of Biotechnology in the year of 2012, is an industry academia interface agency to strengthen and empower the emerging biotechnological enterprise, and its headquarters is in New Delhi. Moving to next question. What is the name of the new scheme which is started for recruitment of soldiers in the Army, Navy and Air Force? This question is very important, even you can cover in the most important section also. So this new scheme name is Agnipath. So answer of this question is A. This is the headline of today's every newspaper. So Cabinet Committee on the Security has approved the new scheme called Agnipath for recruitment of soldiers in the Army, Navy and Air Force. So you can also remember this. This is the Cabinet Committee on Security who approved this Agnipath scheme. So this aims to reduce the increasing salary and pensions. At present, the average age in the force is 32 years. This will be reduced to 26 in the next 6 to 7 years. And this is a transformative initiative which will provide a youthful profile to the Indian Armed Forces. And the scheme was initially named as Tour of Duty, and it was launched in the presence of the chiefs of all the 3 services. You can see here all the 3 chiefs of all different services. And under this new scheme, the soldiers will be initially inducted for a period of 4 years. And on completion of the service period, the soldiers will receive a tax-free service fund package, which is almost 11.71 lakh as the Seva Nidhi package. And this will reduce the defense pension bill, one of the major concern for the government, because for the selected soldiers, the initial 4 years will not be considered for the retirement benefits. And 45,000 to 50,000 soldiers will be recruited annually, and only 25% out of them will be allowed to continue for another 15 years under the permanent commission. And the Agnipath recruitment scheme will provide an opportunity for the Indian youngsters to serve in the Indian Armed Forces as the Agniveer. So you can remember, because the soldiers recruited under this scheme will be known as Agniveer. and the selected soldiers will be given 6-month training and deployed for the 3.5 years. 6-month training plus 3.5 years deployment. And you can specially remember that women will also be inducted into the armed forces under this Agnipath scheme. And the Agniveer will be provided in non-contributory life insurance cover of rupees 48 lakhs for the duration of their engagement period in the Indian Armed Forces. And what will be the salary? The soldiers will get a salary of rupees 30,000 along with the additional benefits. This will go up to 40,000 by the end of 4-year services. And what is the eligibility? The youth of 17.5 years of age and maximum age can be the 21 years. So minimum can be 17.5 and maximum can be 21 years. And this is passed by the Ministry of Defense. So you have to remember name of this scheme is Agnipath. Definitely this question will be asked. And Rajnath Singh ji is currently the Union Minister of Defense. Constituency is Lucknow in Uttar Pradesh. Moving to next question. Which state launched a pilot project, the Sujal initiative, to monitor the water supply, but it is not started all over the state. It is started in the one district of the state, and this district is known as Panchkula, and this Panchkula is situated in the state of Haryana. So answer of this question is C. So Haryana Chief Minister Manohar Lal Khattar ji launched a pilot project which is named as Sujal initiative for Panchkula area to monitor the water supply and control its flow in the region of Panchkula. So under this initiative, a device will be installed in every drinking water meter, tube well and connections of the Haryana Shahri Vikas Pradhikaran. So this device will store the water usage data online in a single dashboard, and thus it is easy to estimate the flow of water in every house. So just remember the keyword here is Sujal initiative, and it is launched in the area of Panchkula in the state of Haryana. Haryana's Chief Minister is Manohar Lal Khattar ji and Governor is Bandaru Dattatreya ji. Moving to next question. Who released second edition of National E-Governance Service Delivery Assessment 2021, which is also known as NESDA 2021, and it is launched by Dr. Jitendra Singh. Answer of this question is D. Dr. Jitendra Singh, who is the Union Minister or Minister of State under the Ministry of Personnel, Public Grievances and Pensions, and Union Minister released the second edition of this National E-Governance Service Delivery Assessment of 2021. And what is the caption of this NESDA? Caption is Reaching Citizen Through Seamless Service Delivery. So this NESDA is a biennial study that provides suggestions for the government to enhance its e-governance service delivery system. And the next edition of NESDA will be conducted in the year of 2023 because it is a report of 2021. So again, this is very important. And NESDA was constituted in the year of 2019 as a part of its mandate to enhance the e-government endeavors and drive digital government excellence. And the assessment covered 56 mandatory services for each state and union territories and 27 services for the focus of the central ministries, because the framework of this NESDA 2021 was finalized following several workshops with the states, UTs and the central ministries from 2021 to May 2021. And NESDA 2021 portal was formally launched in June 2021 to conduct the entire assessment process online. And I already covered this point. The assessment covered 56 mandatory services for each state and union territory and 27 services for the focus of the central ministries. And all the states and the union territories were assessed on the 4 parameters, and these 4 parameters are like accessibility, content availability, ease of use, and information security and privacy. So this report specially assessed 1400 services across all the states and union territories, while in 2019 only 872 services were assessed. But in this report 1400 services were assessed. And the report followed the Good Governance Index of 2021 grouping of the states and union territories into the 4 categories. One is North, East and Hill states. You can see here the first category. Second is Union Territory category. Third is Remaining States Group A and Remaining States Group B category. So in the North, East and Hill states category, Nagaland as well as Meghalaya are the leading state portals with more than 90% of the compliance across all the assessment parameters among the northeast and the hilly states. And this is the state and UT portals, and second is state and UT services portals, and this is Meghalaya and Tripura again. So you have to remember, in the state and UT portals it is Nagaland and Meghalaya, in the state and UT services portal it is Meghalaya and Tripura, but you have to just remember the first state only. First state is Nagaland, and in the services portal it is Meghalaya. And you can also remember in the Union Territories category, it is Jammu and Kashmir who has topped among the UT's e-governance service delivery. Jammu and Kashmir is on the top in both the parameters like services portal and the only portal. And remember, Jammu and Kashmir assessed for the first time, and it has topped the ranking with an overall compliance of the 90%. And in the remaining states, Kerala and Odisha, Tamil Nadu, Punjab, Karnataka and Uttar Pradesh had a compliance of more than 85% among the remaining states category. And Kerala has secured the highest overall compliance score among all the states and union territory. So you have to just remember the first state. In the northeastern and hill state it is Nagaland. In the union territory it is Jammu and Kashmir. In the remaining states group A, Kerala. In the remaining states group B category it is Odisha. And you can also remember in the services portal, Meghalaya, Jammu Kashmir, Punjab and Rajasthan is there. So in the central ministries category, you have to remember the first rank goes to Home Affairs Ministry, who started a portal which is known as Finance Central Public Procurement Portal. This is the best portal which is started by any ministry, and this is Ministry of Home Affairs. Second is Rural Development, third is Education, but you don't have to remember, just remember the Ministry of Home Affairs and is on the first rank. So remember, three things are there. One is the state and UT portal, second is state and UT services portal, and third is central ministry. And this is known as NESDA, and it stands for National E-Governance Service Delivery Assessment, which is done through Union Minister of State, Dr. Jitendra Singh Ji, who is currently the Minister of State of Ministry of Personnel, Public Grievances and Pensions. Moving to next question. 38th India-Indonesia Coordinated Patrol begins in Andaman Sea and state of Malacca. So this is the 38th India-Indonesia Coordinated Patrol. It is also known as Indo Corpet between the Indian Navy units of the Andaman Nicobar Command and Indonesian Navy, and it has been started in the Andaman Sea and state of Malacca, which takes place till 24th of June 2022. So just remember the number. This is 38th Corpet exercise, and it is the first post-pandemic coordinated patrol exercise between India and Indonesia. So the Corpet have been carried out along their international maritime boundary line since 2002, and this helps in understanding and interoperability between both the navies and has facilities measured to prevent and suppress illegal, unreported, unregulated fishing, drug trafficking, maritime terrorism and regulated robbery and piracy. So this is state of Malacca. You can see here, this is the state of Malacca between Malaysia and Singapore, and this is Andaman Sea. So this is the area where this exercise is conducted. And remember about Indonesia. Indonesia's president is Joko Widodo, capital is Jakarta, and currency is Indonesian rupiah. Moving to next question. This question is static, but this question is only for the banking students, and question is, which bank launched Digital Kisan Credit Card renewal scheme for the credit card holders? And this bank is Indian Bank. So answer of this question is D. So Indian Bank launched this Kisan Credit Card digital renewal scheme for the renewal of the Kisan Credit Card. So it can be done by the customers themselves through the Indian Bank's Ind Oasis mobile application, internet banking portal or Indian Bank website, and also through message for the feature phone users. And this is launched currently for the customers having outstanding loans of the rupees 16 lakh as a part of the Indian Bank digital transformation under the project World of Advancement Virtual Experience, which is also known as WAVE. And you can also remember that WAVE initiative is started by Indian Bank. So just remember, Indian Bank launched this Digital Kisan Credit Card renewal scheme for the renewal of the credit cards or the Kisan credit cards for the credit card holders. Moving to next question. Which company and the Total Energy, this company belongs to France, has formed a strategic alliance to build the world's largest green hydrogen ecosystem, and this company of India is Adani Enterprises. So C is the answer. So Adani Enterprises Limited and the Total Energies of France have formed a strategic alliance to build the world's largest green hydrogen ecosystem, and under this strategic alliance, Total Energies would invest at least $12.5 billion to acquire 25% minority interest in the Adani New Enterprise Limited under the Adani Enterprise Limited as a part of this partnership. So you have to just remember that 25% stake will be with Total Energies, and rest of the 75% lies with the Adani New Industries Limited. And Adani Enterprise Limited and Total Energies will use Adani's New Industry Limited as their exclusive platform for the production and commercialization of the green hydrogen in India. And France Total Energy is one of the world's largest oil and gas company, and it already owns 37.4% stake in the Adani Total Gas Limited. And over the next 10 years, this Adani New Industries Limited plans to invest more than $50 billion on the green hydrogen and associated ecosystem. So again, this is very important. This is Adani Enterprise and Total Energies who will form a strategic alliance to build the world's largest green hydrogen ecosystem, under which Total Energy will acquire 25% stake and 75% remain with the Adani Enterprises. Moving to next question. Which bank announced $250 million lending support for the Indian startup? Just to support the Indian startup, this bank will provide $250 million, and this bank is Hong Kong and Shanghai Bank Corporation India. So answer of this question is B. So the Hong Kong and Shanghai Bank Corporation Limited, which is also known as HSBC India, a retail banking and financial services provider, has announced $250 million lending support for high growth technological led startups in India, which has the world's third largest startup ecosystem. So HSBC has designed a credit model and services to meet the specific needs of a wide spectrum of the startups and new age entities spanning from growth stage to unicorns, and the loans will be for the growth stage companies. And the profit of the HSBC commercial banking vertical in India registered a growth of 42%. Like earlier, they registered $187 million profit in India in 2020, but now they registered $265 million profit in the year of 2021. That's why they are basically investing, or they are providing lending support to the Indian startups, especially the technological driven startups, and the total support will be $250 million. And remember, HSBC India, its CEO is Hitendra Dave and its headquarters is in Mumbai. Moving to next question. Which state launched Enam Azutham scheme to bridge the learning gap? So this is a Tamil name, my pronunciation can be wrong, but you can remember the name is Enam Azutham, and this is started by state of Tamil Nadu. So answer of this question is B. So Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin ji launched this Enam Azutham scheme to bridge the learning gap occurred due to COVID-19 pandemic among the students aged below 8. So under this scheme, a high-level committee has been formed to help each child individually. So the main aim to ensure foundational literacy and numeracy by the year of 2025. And the education department will distribute workbooks to the students from class 1 to 3 to assess and bridge the learning gap, because this scheme is specially for the students aged below 8. So that's why we are talking about class 1 to 3. And the children will be trained in 3 subjects. One is Tamil, second is English, and third one is mathematics, in a classroom suitable for conducting lessons that are designed in the format of dance, songs, storytelling and puppetry, and also videos. And recently a special training program was conducted for the teachers, where they were advised to opt for interactive learning methods and also encourage students to read newspapers and books in the school library. And Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu M.K. Stalin ji already announced a free breakfast scheme for the primary school children and a nutrition scheme for the malnourished children. And he also announced 1,000 rupees initiative for the girl students pursuing higher education. So Tamil Nadu Chief Minister is M.K. Stalin ji and Governor is R.N. Ravi. Moving to next question. This question is from picture. Railway Ministry launched Railway Innovation Policy. So the Minister of Railways, Communication, Electronics and Information Technology, Ashwini Vaishnavji, launched Startup for Railway and also launched Indian Railways Innovation Portal in the Rail Bhavan, New Delhi. So the main aim to leverage innovative technology developed by the Indian startups, micro, small and medium enterprises, innovators, entrepreneurs to improve operational efficiency and safety of the Indian Railway. In simple word, you can say that in railway we want maximum to maximum startups so that maximum to maximum innovative technologies can be introduced in railway, and the complete process will be transparent and objective, right from the identifying the problem statement to development of the prototype with the defined timeline. And Indian Railways ensure for 50% up to rupees 1.5 crore capital grant on equal basis and milestone payment, assured market scale and ecosystem. And trials of the prototypes will be done in the railways, and further enhanced funding will be provided to scale up of the deployment of successful performance of the prototypes. So it is just to increase the startups in the railways and just to improve the innovation in the railway industry. And remember about Ministry of Railway, Union Minister is Ashwini Vaishnav, whose constituency is Odisha, and he is currently the member of Rajya Sabha. Moving to next section. Next section is our important question section, but first of all you have to like this video, share this video as maximum as possible, and please subscribe this channel if you are new on this platform, and join our Telegram group from the description box link so that you can receive the notification on time. Here is the question. Who launched National Air Sports Policy of 2022? Very simple question, and this is launched by Jyotiraditya Scindia ji, who is the Union Minister of Civil Aviation. So answer of this question is B. So this is known as National Air Sports Policy of 2022, and it is launched by Union Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia ji with the aim of optimizing India's potential in the field of air sports. So by 2030, this policy aims to make India one of the top sports nation in the world by providing a safe, affordable, accessible, enjoyable and sustainable air sports ecosystem. And this policy is the first step forward realizing India's potential in the field of aviation, and it will definitely increase the participation and achievement of the Indian athletes in the international air sport events. So just remember, this policy is known as National Air Sports Policy. Moving to next question. It is from picture. It is not important. Just remember Rajnath Singh ji 3-day visit to Vietnam from 8th to 10th of June 2022. So Defence Minister Rajnath Singh ji went on a 3-day official visit to Vietnam on 8th of June at the invitation of Vietnam Minister of National Defence. And this marks the 50th year of establishment of India-Vietnam diplomatic relation and 75 year of Indian independence. And Vietnam is an important partner in the India's Act East policy and Indo-Pacific vision. Moving to next section, it is our one-liner important points. Here is the first point. Cabinet Committee on Security approved new scheme Agnipath for the soldiers recruitment. We already covered this question. Indian Navy conducted 38th coordinated patrol with the Indian Navy, Indonesian Navy. Again, this question covered. Prime Minister Modi inaugurated Biotechnological Startup Expo of 2022 in New Delhi. Again, this question covered. Russia overtakes Saudi Arabia to become India's second biggest oil supplier. First is Iraq, second is Russia, and third is Saudi Arabia. Again covered. Rajnath Singh's 3-day visit to Vietnam strengthened the defense cooperation between India and Vietnam. Covered. Next, World Blood Donor Day 2022 observed on 14th of June. So it is just to create awareness about the importance of blood donation and to promote voluntary blood donation. And the day also aims to create awareness about the need for the safe blood and the blood products like red blood cells, fresh frozen plasma, white blood cells and other things. And the observance of World Blood Donor Day is led by the World Health Organization, and this year it is hosted by a city of Mexico through its National Blood Center. And what is the theme of 2022? Theme is donating blood is an act of solidarity. Join the effort and save lives. Moving to next question. It is the question of the day. What is the question of 14th of June 2022? Who has won the Governor of the Year Award of 2022? This question is most important. The Central Banking Team and its editorial advisory panel recently unveiled its 9th edition of the Central Banking Awards. And Mario Marcel, so just remember the name Mario Marcel, the governor of Central Bank of Chile, has won the Governor of the Year award at the Central Banking Awards of the 2022. And Chile's governor expertly navigated a third currency crisis in the 2 years amid wider political volatility while improving the central bank capabilities. So just remember it is Mario Marcel. Moving to next question, it is the question of the day. Who became the first para athlete to receive Padam Bhushan award? So again, this question is most important. You have to tell me answer only in the comment box. I'm waiting your answer, but please like this video, share this video and subscribe this channel. And you can join our all platforms like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn and our Telegram channel from the description box link. And don't take life so much serious. Life is fun. Always be happy and always take care of your health. Thank you guys. Take care and bye-bye.